With Barcelona eliminated from the Champions League, a summer of lever pulling and splashing ludicrous amounts of cash on big-name players is now called into question. A financial plan that predicated the importance of success at the top level, winning top trophies, competing in the top competition, is called into question as another Europa League knockout phase beckons. Hey, I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV, where today we're going over Barcelona's big lever-pulling summer that basically demanded success for the club immediately, and how them crashing out of the Champions League affects them financially, namely the big ol' lever project, of course. More could be on the way. Well, the obvious answer is that we won't see their name pop out of one of those iconic Champions League balls during the draw. And speaking of balls, this video is brought to you by Manscaped, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products.
You should shave before you do the ad.
Is this really the time? Is that the appropriate thing to say during a Manscaped ad? I mean, I get it, but what does my I'm talking about your face, man. Manscaped sent you the Lawnmower 4. Can I just do it? I mean, I clearly know this way better than you do. Okay, yeah. So, in this glorious performance package is, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0. This sleek and sexy sucker is electric, has cordless charging, has an LED light in case you want to shave when the power goes out or in dark crevices. It has ceramic blades that reduces the nicks and cuts to your most sensitive regions of your body or your face, because as I have done, I use this thing as a beard trimmer and it performs great in that regard, 100 times better than my old one. You can even shave in the shower if you want. The thing is waterproof. Also, for those on the road, do the 3 taps on the power button and this thing will be in travel lock mode so it won't buzz in your bag. Because who wants a buzz in or on your bag? Not me. You want a buzz on your balls or your beard. The performance package also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver sprays to ensure you are fresh and can refresh throughout the day down there. The performance package also comes with the Weed Whacker to take care of pesky nose and ear hairs. Painless. You can pick like Yogi Love, no problem, with your hairless nostrils. What a treat. So my friends, go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off, plus free international shipping, plus 2 free gifts when you use promo code Rabona at checkout. What a steal. Well, thanks, Manscaped, and let's get to the video. So a quick oversimplification of what Barcelona did this past summer. These financial levers served as ways for Barcelona to give up ownership of various aspects of the club, sell them off to outside investors in order to have money up front to fund building a team. The thinking being that Barcelona would create a virtuous circle, as Laporta put it, in that yes, they are giving up some of their marketing, merchandising, and studio rights, including TV rights, in exchange for cash. But said cash was supposed to fuel a massive rebuild to fill Xavi's squad with enough quality that it would lead to success on the pitch and boost their commercial opportunities off of the pitch. That's the catch, however, how success on the pitch is paramount to this entire project. Despite giving up massive percentages, they believed that this team they built would bring enough success and therefore commercial opportunities that it would more than make up for what they had given up to investors such as 6th Street, who purchased 10% of their future La Liga TV rights. In all, 4 levers were pulled, in turn pulling about 600 million euros in. However, despite the influx of cash, the financial situation is still not good at Barcelona. It's better than before, of course it is. It's absolutely better. I mean, ignoring the risks involved for the future should they be unsuccessful on the pitch, that is. But yes, it's better than before. They are no longer on the verge of bankruptcy, but the squad is still expensive. Ter Stegen, Piqué, and Busquets cost the club about 40 million euros per season. For the 2021-22 season, they spent 518 million on transfers and salaries, and that increased by 27% for the 22-23 season, all the way up to a whopping 656 million euros. My goodness. So while they did indeed do well to get rid of players that weren't serving them, they still have a lot of work to do in order to stabilize things. This kind of salary bill is just not sustainable. The club actually has a financial president and vice president, and that financial vice president, Eduardo Romeo, recently spoke at Barcelona's annual general meeting, or AGM, on Sunday, October 9th, 2022, explaining how without the levers, Barcelona's losses for the season would have still been, brace yourself, 210 million euros. You can see the need to lower that salary bill. A lot of things contributing to that salary bill are, of course, all of the wages that Barcelona had deferred, as well as costs coming up for previous transfers. Yes, Barcelona still owe Liverpool money for Coutinho, they still owe Juve money for Pjanic, and still owe Valencia some cash for Neto. Can't believe they paid 26 million plus 9 million in add-ons for Neto. But anyway, for transfers such as these, Barcelona will have to pay out 100 million euros in the next 7 months. Plus, they still have to start paying back 6th Street this season, remember them, the guys who purchased their La Liga television income. They will begin owing them 41 million euros per year. On top of that, they have the Camp Nou renovation project that they are going ahead with, and this one will hurt them twofold in a sense. Yes, when it's completed, it will boost their matchday attendance up to 110,000 from 99,000, which will bring in a lot of added income from ticket sales. However, there are a few aspects that will actually hurt them financially, which The Athletic's Dermot Corrigan highlighted. This is complicated by the huge renovation project at Camp Nou, which will require the museum to close for a significant amount of time over the next couple of years. The rebuild has also added to Barcelona's liabilities, with 1.5 billion euros to be repaid over 25 years once the new look stadium is completed. In the short term, it will cost them 50 million euros next season, as construction work means the first team must play at the city's smaller 55,000 seats and less modern Montjuic Stadium. So just to make that clear, not only will they be paying for the cost of renovations, but their matchday revenue will be down as well, just as the museum, which is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Barcelona, will also be closed for a period of time. To go back to the financial vice president, Romeo, he spoke at the AGM of the Champions League and how it factors into things. Remember, this was on October 9th, 4 days before Barcelona failed to beat Inter at the Spotify Camp Nou. Romeo said, quote, "Last season, the impact of being eliminated in the Champions League groups was 12 million euros. We were counting on income we didn't get, but we also saved costs. This year, we are aiming to win La Liga and reach the Champions League quarterfinals. As things stand, La Liga is the only one of those two objectives they could achieve, and that would require Real Madrid to relent in their high-flying performances of late, showing that even when Karim Benzema is unavailable, the cast of Valverde, Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo are more than capable of picking up the slack for the Ballon d'Or winner, while Carlo Ancelotti is a serial winner that is seemingly back to close to his best during his second stint in Madrid. But when it comes to the Champions League elimination and subsequent Europa League participation, this is not something that Barcelona will want to get used to, as it doesn't befit a club that is trying to show that they belong at the very top. Not in Europa League knockouts, but Champions League knockouts. Yes, based on history, Barcelona absolutely has to be in the Champions League, and namely in the Champions League knockout phases. But this is a meritocracy, of course. Just as aging stars don't deserve to start just based on the player they used to be, clubs don't deserve to be in a competition based on the club they used to be. Unless this is the Super League, of course. You can see why certain clubs really want that Super League. And Laporta is one of those guys that wants it. Part of the virtuous circles that Laporta wanted to create with all of the lever pulling to build a winning side, part of that demands that the team is successful, winning competitions and playing in the premier competitions in order to attract investors. Their reputation takes a hit when they fail to get a win against every difficult team they face in the Champions League, or they crumble at the feet of their rivals domestically. A virtuous circle can become a vicious cycle if they continue to pull levers that lead to them being in the second best European competition due to being the third best team in a 4-team group, or being the second best team in La Liga. The domestic dominance that Real Madrid has shown recently was of course highlighted with their El Clasico win, but the knife was twisted further in seeing Karim Benzema collect the Ballon d'Or trophy, wasn't it? I mean, I couldn't help but watch that as I was writing this video and think, where Barcelona were once on top, they now have to watch Real Madrid's continued success that's followed their brief, unsuccessful intermission, extremely brief for Real Madrid. They're back to winning regularly. They currently boast the world's best player, and they have a crop of young players that will ensure that their future is in great hands. Those are the exact things that Barcelona was boasting about a decade ago. The fortunes of the two clubs have been flipped in a sense, but that said, it's not like Real Madrid ever stopped winning Champions League, so it's not a complete flip because they were still winning things along the way. And speaking of managers and player personnel, there are some who have allegedly begun questioning Xavi, and whether he is the man that can turn things around for this club. Watching Barcelona attack at times, namely in the 2 matches where they failed to beat Inter, can feel overly predictable and formulaic, and this seems to be a common issue for Xavi when he is coming up against top teams. Get the ball to Dembele, allow Dembele to cross the ball, and hope for the best. When Barcelona have played some of their best football, it has been against sides that they always should be beating in La Liga. We aren't going to fault them for beating lesser sides, of course. The absence of doing so, however, that's when issues come. But I think that Barcelona have had a pretty good litmus test over the last couple of years, namely this season, to see just where they stand as a club in the moment. Under Koeman, they're a bona fide Europa League level, failing to finish ahead of Benfica under Jorge Jesus, who are having a terrible season themselves domestically. This season, once again, they face big teams in Bayern and Inter, and they finish behind them in the standings. They face Real Madrid domestically, and they lose 3-1, in spite of all of their investment and signings brought in, including one of the top goal scorers in the world in Robert Lewandowski. They aren't quite there yet, and you can look at this in 2 ways. This is a team that has a manager that is learning as he goes, who's doing well, who's relatively new to this compared to many of his contemporaries, and that they are going to grow together after a season of mass change within the squad, which can be hard to deal with for any manager. Or there are some that look at it as Xavi not being fit to lead a project of this magnitude, to take Barcelona back to their glory days, incorporate a ton of new talents all together at once, it's beyond him, etc. I personally fall on the side of the former. It's difficult to pull all these new talents together, and I believe in Xavi as a manager, but he realistically needs time to grow, something that people are unwilling to give new managers or managers in new roles. Just doesn't happen anymore. A run like this would be fine for anyone else in any other situation, but unfortunately, Barcelona's financial situation and lever pulling has made it so that there is little room for growing into a role, growing a side together in an organic way. It's money up front, meaning investment now on finished articles, glory now to ensure money in the future, rather than money up front, investment now on future talents, and patience in a transitional phase to get lasting success for the future. It's always been a risk, and as of now, Barcelona are still living beyond their means. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, why not subscribe for more from us here at Rabona TV? Other than that, I'm Adrian, and have a great day. Ciao!